Welcome to the Hecate's Doorway podcast. Yes, we are back after not recording last week. I wonder how many of you even noticed.
No,
You even care.
No, they don't. They don't care.
Now we're back with part 3, I guess. I don't know if I really want to... I don't know what else to call it. Because it's not really part 3, because the story's over.
Yeah, true.
This is kind of just like the after...
After credits?
Yeah, welcome to the after credits scene. Thanks, Marvel, for making every fucking movie need to do an after credits scene.
No kidding. Oh, man. This will be fun.
So welcome to the after credits of Vlad Dracula.
Wait. Gotta set the mood.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, hit the red one.
But, okay.
Even though no
There
one
you
can
go.
see this.
Nah.
My desk glows red just like our microphones.
He got a new desk.
Yeah, I got a new desk. Not a new... Some point everyone will see this shit once we decide to actually fucking buckle down and do a video podcast with it. But in the meantime, I think we even said basically what this episode is going to be last episode, that we're kind of just talking about...
What's up, Crowley?
Oh, kitty. Both the shit that happened... No, not the shit that happened afterwards. What am I trying to say? We're going to talk about the stories that were told about him at the time, even slightly after, that kind of shaped what everyone really thinks about him, because as we kind of learned as we're going through the story, it wasn't really quite as bloody as I'm pretty sure most people thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
We'll find out why, and then we'll also just kind of talk about some other shit that he inspired, all that fun shit. So, let's just jump off. Let's just jump into it, huh? Let's just jump into it.
Jump into the water.
Jump in the water.
I swear there's no dead people in there.
There's nothing in this water.
Remember, if you see a pool of water and you see a corpse, you don't know it. You don't know.
I don't know that body.
Even though they may look familiar, it's not them.
Isn't that your dad? I don't know that body.
No.
I don't know that.
That's a creepypasta too.
Of course it is. Everything's a creepypasta.
What was on SCP? I can't remember.
But who was phone?
Me.
I was phone.
That's who.
Okay, so most of the stories that we kind of associate the worst of Vlad with come from the German Saxons from Transylvania. They were the ones that basically started the whole mythos. Thanks for making all that ASMR for me, buddy. Sorry if you hear my cat being a freak of nature.
For once, he actually wants to be with us.
I know.
Oh, now he's going to me.
So all the stories you've probably heard of Vlad just being a fucking balls to the wall, cruel motherfucker, come from the German Saxons who told stories about him. Go figure, they were the ones that he fucked over the most for some reason. Don't know why, but most of it can be attributed to propaganda from the German Saxons.
That's what it's not propaganda.
Take a propagander at this.
No.
No, Dalai Lama, I will not suck your tongue.
Oh, man.
Yeah, who would have thought? Another religious ruler is a pedophile. Wow. I'm color me shocked. Just kidding, I'm not.
No.
These stories are where his victim count of 40,000 to 100,000 generally come from, because, surprise, surprise, that's not really historically accurate.
That's a very large number.
Not to mention, I mean, we are talking about the fact that he was a soldier. So you really can't count soldiers he killed in battle as... I mean, you could call them victims, because technically they are, but, not like murder victims,
Yeah.
But specifically murder victims, that's where that number comes from. For example, one German story tells of Vlad impaling 600 merchants from Brasov and confiscating all their goods. A letter written by Dan III, who had attempted to take the Wallachian throne after his father Dan II fell to Vlad, wrote that in a siege of Brasov, Vlad had impaled merchants, but only 41. And so, put it in perspective, this is a man who did not like Vlad.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wanted his throne, man killed his father.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone's going to over-embellish how many people Vlad killed, that man will be one of them. So to take 41 and turn it into... God, what did I just say? 600? Yeah, so
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference. German stories of Vlad basically painted him as a living boogeyman. He would do anything from staking, burning his victims alive, skinning them, feeding human flesh to his victims' relatives, like Cartman and his chili, and even nailing hats to heads.
Well, the Germans have always had big time making stories.
Yeah,
They've always had a lot of time. Good time making stories.
Oh, you silly Germans.
The Grimm's fairy tales.
True, actually. Maybe this is where it all starts from. Actually, no, I think it's older than that.
Yeah.
His victims were anyone and everyone. Men, women, children of all ages, religions, etc. Not just the men, but the women and the children, too. The German stories stand out quite a bit from other regions like Russia or Romania, who also had tales of Vlad from around the same time, as the German tales seem to be the only ones painting him as a depraved monster, where he was described as, quote, one of the worst tyrants of history, far worse than the most depraved emperors of Rome, such as Caligula and Nero, end quote.
Nero?
Who we're going to do an episode on at some point. He was just a guy, you know? He was just a guy.
He was just a guy. He had dreams and ambitions.
He had dreams and ambitions, and he wanted to fuck his mother.
Wait, what?
What? I think he actually did. I think there's a lot of incest in his story.
What?
I mean, there's a lot of incest in, like, all these stories, so.
True. These stories also tell of one of Vlad's favorite targets. His cruelties were often to enforce his own moral code. And one group of German stories say he targeted the most were maidens who lost their virginity and widows who had sex outside of marriage. The whores. Oh,
the
no.
whores!
Why the whores?
I guess this is the German stories, of course. But I don't think it'd be too far off, considering this man was a fucking crucible of Christ.
Yeah.
And I guess, according to the Germans, Vlad did not like his whores. Sex out of wedlock? I'll show you a staking.
Ooh. But it was told Vlad could cut the sexual organs out of these women and cut off their breasts. It was also told he impaled them through their vaginas and out of their mouths. Ow. He would cut out their sex organs, cut off their breasts, and skin them alive before impaling them and leaving everything he cut off in a pile next to them in the square of Tago Vista. Merchants who cheated their customers and poor, sick beggars were also said to find themselves staked next to thieves. Damn.
Yeah, according to the German stories, of course.
Yep. So
everyone's a target.
Everyone. So who knows? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. There's no way for us to really tell.
No, because these are the only stories that say he does this.
Yeah.
But they are also the people who he just fucked over. You remember, this was the one where he would go down and be like, fuck you guys. You're not part of this anymore shit.
Yeah.
But if you wanted the nasty, here's the nasty. That was fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Just leaving the fucking offal on the ground next to the freaking skinned, impaled woman.
Ow.
Gross, dude.
For the Slavic stories of Vlad, we have a story called... Excuse me for mispronouncing this.
I didn't even look up how to pronounce this.
Skazenio or Dracula, Voivode, or Tales About Voivode Dracula.
So, yeah. Now we're getting into the Russian shit.
Ooh, the Russian.
Ooh, the Russian.
These stories are somewhat similar to the German stories in what is covered, like stories of Vlad naming hats to noblemen's heads. But unlike the German stories, the Russian one's tone is much more positive towards Vlad. They're spread into 19 parts and the original author is unknown, though most historians steer as it was either written by a Romanian priest or a Russian diplomat, but we'll never know for sure.
As we stated earlier, in Romania, Vlad is celebrated as a natural.
He's a natural element.
National hero for his efforts against the invading Turks. Vlad's cruel tactics during his campaigns against the Ottoman Empire, in a way, broke the illusion that many Romanians and Hungarians at the time saw the empire as a truly invincible force. But as Vlad not only defeated their armies times over, but also completely demoralized them with his overkills and showed them that they were indeed able to be defeated and pushed back. So that in Romania, no matter what the stories say, these people are like, this is our guy.
Yep, they're like, he's our guy.
He's our guy. Romanian stories say nothing about Vlad as a vampire. No shock there.
Yeah.
Only as a strong and just ruler. Many stories depict him as a hero riding into battle and a man who stood up to both foreign and domestic enemies for the sake of Romania and Hungary.
Ooh.
So, man was just national hero. So it's kind of like, of those three spots, it's kind of just like extreme to like least extreme. Like Germany, fucking monster, just did horrible shit. Romania, he's a fucking godsend, and then like Russian is just kind of like down the middle. Like he wasn't a bad guy, but he did some fucked up shit.
Yeah. Interesting though.
Yeah.
So when did the stories of Vlad becoming a vampire came from?
They honestly they came from Bram Stoker's Dracula. When people they saw that and they learned about Vlad Dracula, they're just like, oh well, maybe he was a vampire. They just kind of put it together because it's the last name. But I think, as we discussed both in our vampire series, not series episode, and I think the first episode of this series, Vlad saw the name in, I think, like a history book or something, and mistranslated it to demon when it means Dracula means son of the dragon, right?
Yeah.
Because Dracula means, I think, dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula means son of the dragon.
Fully translated, yeah, I believe that's what it is.
So just mistranslation, and then just, over time, people just associating the two, and not really...
Yeah.
Because, Dracula, the vampire, lives in Transylvania, for one.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Which, Vlad lives in Wallachia, or rules in Wallachia.
Or Wallachia, depending on how you like to pronounce it.
Oh, you want to go to Wallachia?
I don't know, the Netflix adaptation, that's how they say it. They say it in Wallachia.
That's actually probably right.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows these days? But yeah, so it's mostly just people, like, putting it together. I think, obviously pop culture hasn't quite helped that.
Could be the same with Elizabeth Bathory, where they painted her as a vampire to try and make it seem more demonic.
Oh yeah, that too. They definitely put that. Granted, if it really was true that she bathed in blood, she's not really helping her case there.
Nope, not at all.
That's a story we're probably not going to touch again for a hot while because fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically stuff like that, where it's just like the stories getting melded over time, and then pop culture just kind of if people who don't know, like I didn't know how. You got a picture of me?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're beautiful. Nah, I'm not.
Good. What the fuck was I saying? Oh, I didn't know how Stoker came up with the name Dracula until like we went into the vampire series. So I don't think most people know where that came from, and not knowing where that came from, you're just gonna assume, Dracula. There must be stories of him being a vampire.
Yeah.
But literally nothing throughout history has anything associating him with vampires, which is funny because if I remember what we talked about during that vampire episode, right, that area is where like the first modern vampire myths come from.
Yeah. So
to have the birth home of the modern vampire have nothing to do with a man who shares the name with the most famous vampire in history says a lot about anyone who might say that there are stories about him being a vampire.
Yeah.
Super funny. I put a short up on YouTube from the end, or part 2, where I think it was like, and then they cut off his head, and then Vlad was finally dead, and you're like, or was he?
Ooh.
And then we started saying like, well, even if he was a vampire, shit like that. I put that part in there. And someone commented like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? He wasn't a vampire. Like, granted, worst thing to just put out there with no connection, but like,
Yeah, but it's so funny. Now it's funny because there are also some. Only reason I know about this because they have to do with vampires, and they say that because he might have been like the original vampire, even though there's nothing really tying him to it. that because such myths tend to arise, people also tend to give him the most OP powers there is. And more because he is the original, he cannot die just by cutting his head off. So I'm saying, no, to kill the original vampire, you have to use whatever mystical item or however many steps it takes.
Right.
But yeah.
Unless you count Nosferatu as the original vampire.
True. Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Click, 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 click.
No.
I guess you'd also blame Dracula Untold for the whole.
Oh yeah, that too.
Because they literally do just be like, yeah, this is Vlad Dracula, and he becomes a vampire.
Even though I guess he got it from a demonish, so yeah.
Is it? I swear it looked like Nosferatu.
I mean, it could have been Nosferatu. They never gave him an actual name.
No, the way I always interpreted it is, it looked like it was just a vampire who lived so long that the immortality part started to fuck him over, and he was just a little decrepit vampire in a cave, and it almost seemed like when he made Dracula a vampire, he died. If I remember right.
No, he actually was still alive at the end.
Oh, was he?
They're trying to make it, because that's when they were trying to make into like that whole
the
Monsterverse shit.
Which would have been cool if half of the movies didn't suck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Poor Frankenstein.
God, yeah, I Frankenstein. What a fucking shit show.
It has such potential.
It could have been cool, but it was garbage. How are you gonna make a multiverse and make like half the movie? Like, if you were gonna make a multiverse, wouldn't you want like the same person behind all the movies?
You think so?
Because it's one of the only reasons I think the Marvel ones work so well is they all have a very similar tone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess they did try that with DC and it went to shit.
DC, yeah.
Maybe we should just stop doing multiverses because apparently it doesn't really work that well.
Not if you don't plan it out properly.
No, apparently not.
The thing Marvel's, they've been planning this out for a long time.
Didn't Iron Man come out in like 2008?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure they were planning it back then too, weren't they?
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, I think that's mostly where that comes from, where people are just like, oh, he must be a vampire.
Yeah.
Because he's
that plus nearly impaling a bunch of people, and probably them thinking, oh, maybe he must have stood under so much blood.
Oh yeah.
And probably wasn't even him doing it personally. It's probably just his soldiers.
That's a good point to bring up. I don't know. I mean, it very well might have been him who maybe took pleasure. But I mean, if he didn't take pleasure out of it, and it was just a fear tactic, it very well might have also, like, he might have had everyone do it. Like, everyone, hurry, make a forest of the impaled, quickly.
Forest of the undead.
Forest of the undead.
Ooh, heavy metal album. Next cover.
Bro. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, you know, his legacy somewhat kind of lives on through vampire stories and stuff.
Yeah.
Even though he had nothing to do with vampires, he just got wrapped into it.
Just because one person made a story.
But yeah, I guess that's basically it.
Yeah.
We could just talk about more movies, but I think we already kind of talked about the movies throughout the series anyway.
We're on a movie review channel yet?
No, not yet.
That's a different day.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is a bit of a short one, but, you know, it's just a little follow-up.
Yeah.
We got a hell of a lot of new listeners.
Yay.
Like, holy fuck. Within the last, like, month, we've gotten, like, hella fucking new listeners, so... Thanks for coming. I'm sure most of you came from the fucking Serbian lady episode. Actually, I'm fairly certain because that one's like now the most listened to episode of our entire fucking or whatever podcast.
Entire catalog.
A lot of people are branching off and listening to the other episodes. That's cool. I'm glad you're doing that. We're
hopefully you'll stick around.
Yeah, we upload pretty fucking regularly. Every now and then we miss a week, but you know what?
It's live.
We're human.
This isn't our full-time stuff.
Not yet.
Hopefully. You never know.
You go to our Patreon, you could have that.
I doubt it, but okay.
You got a tier 6, you get intimate time. Ooh.
Dude, 6? What the fuck?
There's only one tier.
I know, I was like, what happened to tier 2 through 5?
You just straight to tier 6.
Damn, okay.
Tier 66.
69.
Ooh, tier 69!
No. What happened to the others? Oh, they don't exist.
They don't exist. No, we only have one tier. But, yeah. I guess I'll do a long announcement of the things in our show notes because I've been wrapping up hella quick. Patreon, of course. Patreon.com/Hecate'sDoorway.
Ooh.
Become a member of our cult.
Yeah, cults.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you won't have to ingest or fuck every night or do weird shit that you don't want to do.
Unless you wanna.
That's on your own time, but yeah.
Yeah, drink some Kool-Aid, fuck.
No, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Hey, they drink Flavor Aid.
Either way, don't drink it if it has something else in it. Unless you put it in yourself, but even then.
Unless you drop a little bit of fucking shroom pill in there.
Ooh, shrooms. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, no, there's Patreon. Got our merch stuff, I think, because we have our website down there, which I don't update very regularly, but it self-updates.
Oh, nice.
Which has got links to our merch and everything if you want to grab some shirts, some stickers. Making some new stuff here soon. For however long Twitter's going to exist, we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think we have a subreddit, too.
Yeah, I think so.
Not that I think of. But yeah, there's all that shit down there. Keep listening. Hail Satan.
Woo. Blessed be. Y'all take care.